Alright, today we're going to be talking about Chapter 5, Lesson 3. This is called Angles of Triangles. So, the sum of the measures of the interior angles of a triangle, we learned this last year in 7th grade, but that's 180 degrees. Which means if we add the three angles of a triangle together, here's angle X, angle Y, angle Z, if we add those together, the sum is 180 degrees. Alright, let's look at example 1. It says the city park is in the shape of a triangle. Find the value of X. Now, that's right here in this corner. So, what we can do, there's two different ways that we can do it. One, we can write an equation, and that's going to be the more beneficial way for the future. And if we do that, it would be X plus, we have an angle 44 and an angle worth 20. So, 44 plus 20. And remember, that sum is 180. Combine like terms, that's 64. And now we have a one-step equation where we subtract 64 from both sides. We get X equals 116 degrees. That's one way that you can do it. The other way that you can do it is by taking 180, subtracting 44. If you do this, you get 136, and subtract 20 again. So you still get 116 degrees. This is the preferred method. This is the method that will be more beneficial to you moving forward as you continue to increase your abilities in school. Example 2, the measures of the angles of a triangle DEF. Now, the way that we label triangles is these would be the three corners of that triangle. So we would have DE and F. They're in a ratio of 1 to 2 to 3. What are the measures of those angles? So what we do with this ratio is we attach a variable to each one of these numbers. So really this is going to be X to 2X to 3X, because that's really what this ratio says. This middle number is twice as big as the first number, and this one is 3 times as big as the first number. So really it's this first number that we need to find in order to solve the rest of it. So if we convert each one of those from 1 to 2 to 3 to X to 2X to 3X, that'll be more beneficial to us. So this would be X, 2X, and 3X. Now this triangle is probably not drawn to scale, but this is how it would be laid out. DEF, 1, 2, 3. Now, if we add up these three angles, add up these three parts of the ratio, remember the sum is 180 degrees. Combining like terms here, X and 2X and 3X, we get 6X. Divide both sides by 6, and we get X equals 30 degrees. Now, that's only the first part of this problem because it says what are the measures of the angle, so we need all three of them. So that's really going to be looking at this one, and this one. So X is 30. 2X would be twice this one, so 2 times 30, this would be a 60-degree angle. And then 3X would be 3 times the first one, so 3 times 30 would be 90 degrees. So the three angles are 30 degrees, 60 degrees, and 90 degrees. Alright, so that's looking at interior angles. Let's look now at exterior angles. So there's a nice little rule here that says the measure of an exterior angle of a triangle is equal to the sum of the measurements of the opposite two interior angles. Now, what that means is if we look at this figure here, angle 1 is an exterior angle because it's outside of the triangle. The angles that are opposite of this are going to be over here and over here, because neither of these two angles are adjacent to angle 1. The one that's adjacent to angle 1 is angle C here. So if we add up the measures of angle A and B, we would get the measure of angle 1. Which makes sense, because if we add up these three angles, angle A, angle B, and angle C, we get 180 degrees. But if we also look here, these two angles are supplementary. They form a straight angle. So we could also say that angle C plus angle 1 is 180 degrees. Now, because both of these equations are set equal to the exact same thing, we can actually substitute, if you recall from systems, C plus 1 in for 180. We can substitute that right there. So now, really, we have angle A plus angle B plus angle C is equal to angle C plus angle 1. We have the same thing that appears on both sides of the equal sign. So if we subtract the measure of angle C from both sides, we create 0 pairs, and all that's left is angle A plus angle B equals angle 1, which is what we have right here. All right, let's look at some examples here then. It says find the value of x in the triangles. Here we have x on the outside, and we have the two opposite angles. So x is going to be equal to 80 plus 31, excuse me. And in this case, it's really nice. All we have to do is add those together. So x is equal to 111 degrees. Now on example B here, we have the exterior angle, but we don't have both interior angles. So what we have to do is go x plus 90. Remember, it's the sum of these two angles is equal to the exterior angle. One-step equation, so we subtract 90 from both sides. This creates a 0 pair. 137 minus 90, so x will be 47 degrees. All right, that is the end of lesson 3. If you have any questions, please let me know.